شهاب خليل المدير التنفيذي لزاكي ثريدات راح يكمل السيشنز اللي خاصه بالكلاود، يتكلم على قضايا الكلاود فيما يخص اسواق المال وشركات الوساطه تحديدا. تفضل.
شكرا. السلام عليكم، صباح الخير. بديش اطول اليوم عليكم، بدي اعطيكم بعض اللمحات عن شركتنا واحنا شو بنقدم، وعندنا نظره بسيطه لشركات الوساطه، كيف ممكن نطورها من شركات محليه بسكوب بسيط وصغيره لا تكون global investment banks. For the English audience, I welcome you and thank you for your attendance. I'll be speaking mainly in Arabic for the majority of the speakers. Please put your headsets if you have any interest in listening to what I have to say. Thank you very much. So for the beauty of time, I'll just get started. بس بدي افحص هذا اذا شغال. كليكر مش شغال. مركز يمين وشمال. ليش ما انت تجلس انت؟ خلاص انت اول سلايد. يعني السكرين تقدر تكبرها ولا لا؟ فول سكرين. اوكي. بشكل ملخص انا في عندي نظره بسيطه للموضوع. انا بديت بكمبيوتر انجينير، فولو اب على اي بي ام، كنت كنت شغال في شركه اي بي ام كمهندس، بعدين تركت الاي بي ام وعملت ماسترز بزنس، بعدين عملت ماي اون بزنس ورجعت لاي بي ام كمان مره بالسيلز، بعدين تركتهم كمان مره واسست شركه خاصه في مختصه بالفاينانشال تكنولوجيز لشركات الوساطه والبروكرج. وبالكارير تبعي الحمد لله اتاح لي انه الشركه هذه ايفنشولي تكون تندمج مع بنك كبير في المنطقه في دبي، وصرت انا موظف بالبنك، وصار عندي مدخل اشوف الاسواق الماليه الاقليميه والعالميه بطريقه مختلفه تماما عن ما تكون انت اي تي فندر داخل وبتحاول تبيع سولوشنز لشركات الوساطه. وبعدين بعد الفاينانشال كرايسيس حاولت ارجع باك للاي تي واعمل سولوشن حسب ما انا شفت ايش المطلوب ينعمل لشركات الوساطه. انا بدي ابدا بالعراق ومثل هذه البرزنتيشن بس لسوق العراق. انا عندي نظرتي الخاصه فيها انه سوق العراق اي اس اكس موجود بالنص، موجود هون، واللي في عندي ايش اسمهم جيت كيبرز، او هم الناس المسؤولين عن دخول الاوامر للسوق اللي هم البروكرز. اكشولي بسوق العراق حاليا اذا بده يدخل عليه اي اوردر فهو عن طريق شركات الوساطه، احنا كنا عارفين. بس الكرنت بيكتشر زي هذه هلا انا امبارح عرفت انه في 54 شركه مسجله في العراق، فحطيت 54 وحده من هدول حوالين السوق. بس اذا بتلاحظوا انتم سوق العراق موجود بالنص وحواليه 54 شركه صغيره محليه عندها ليميتد ريكوايرمنتس. السوق بيحاول يدخل تقنيات جديده ويدخل على التكنولوجيز ويحاول يكبر الفوليومز، وبعدين شركات الوساطه عم تستنى حدا يعمل هذا الحكي عشان تستثمر وتدخل بالمشروع. مش معقول انا ادفع ملايين الدولارز كشركه وساطه استثمارات في الانفراستراكشر تبعتي وبركي يجي الفوليوم وبركي ما يجي الفوليوم. ف نفس الموضوع الفوليوم تبعت السوق. مين بده يجيب الفوليوم؟ يعني عم نستنى احنا البروكرز هم اللي بدهم يجيبوا الفوليوم بالسوق، والسوق بيحكي للبروكرز روحوا يسوقوا الخدمات ويلا نعمل رود شوز للشركات المدرجه عندنا، ولا الاكسشينج يحط ليستنجز جديده ويحمس الناس تعالوا تداولوا امور زي هذه عندنا بالسوق، ولا نحكي احنا البروكرز. افرض اجت الفوليومز، هل البروكرز جاهزين للحكي هذا من ناحيه تقنيات، من ناحيه سكيلينج ذا بزنس؟ انا عندي كم من واحد بالكاستمر سيرفيس وكم من واحد بروكر، كم من تليفون بقدر استقبل بالدقيقه بعدين فجاه صار الكل بده يحكي 700 تليفون نفس اللحظه. بتذكرني بايام السوق المالي تبع دبي. توصل مرحله انه انا رحت سجلت اتداول بالسوق المحلي في دبي بال 2005. رحت على دبي فاينانشال ماركت هاب، شفت الناس مكومه فوق بعض على الشبابيك، منظر لن انساه في حياتي. وعشان اطلع انفستر نمبر قعدت ساعتين. بعدين عبيت وراها عشان ادخل اتداول مع بروكر، دورت على اول بروكر ما عنده ناس فوق بعض على الويندو وبتزاحموا، كان زي يعني مش معقول الموضوع كان. واكتشفت انه في بروكرز كانوا يعني ايام الفورة المضبوطه، في بروكرز كان عندها موبايل ناس زباين معطينهم اياه حط عليه عشان لما انت تليفون بدك ترد عليه ويعطيك كوميشن. طبعا هذا الحكي مش سكيلبل كمان، هذا قبل الاونلاين قبل كل شيء. طيب شو صار بالاسواق الاماراتيه؟ ككيس ستدي ناخذها جنبنا بالامارات. دخل الاونلاين ووسع وظبط، بس هذا الاونلاين اللي عم نحاول ندخل فيه هلا بالسوق العراقي هذا ببساطه اوريدي المفروض تكون موجوده. حكينا قبل شوي عن شيء اسمه جرينفيلد من اي بي ام. الاسواق الثانيه كان عندها سيستمز قديمه وحاولوا يبنوا عليها، لما نجيب احنا سيستم جديد نبني عليه عندنا القدره انه نجيب احسن شيء، واول شيء موجود احسن شيء موجود في العالم نقعد نستخدمه هلا، بعدين نبني عليه. شو اللي عندنا اياه؟ اذا الانفراستراكشر اللي عندنا اياها بسيطه بزيحها كلها بحط فوقها الانفراستراكشر كامله. هلا طب ده جاستيفاي ذا انفستمنت، يعني انا كبروكر هلا الفوليومز بالسوق العراقي ليميتد، بدي استثمر، بدي اكبر، بدي اعمل. طب كبرت وعملت، داز جاستيفاي ادفع ملايين علشان نفس الفوليومز بالسوق ولا لا؟ فوصلت مرحله بسموها ديدلوك. مر عليكم اكيد هذه السيتويشن، كل واحد استنى في الثاني يتحرك. انا ما راح استثمر الا لما يرجع السوق، وبسمعها كثير. والسوق يا عمي تعالوا تسوقوا اعمل رود شوز. طيب ايش الرود شوز؟ وين البروكرز؟ في حدا عنده دايركت ماركت اكسس، في حدا عنده ريسيرش بروكر شويه، في ناس عندها الكترونيك تولز، في حدا عنده كذا كذا. طب هي غاليه، ليش استثمرها علشان يجيني اوردر لما يجيني اوردر باليوم؟ فالموضوع هذا اذا نتركه بالطريقه هاي مش راح يمشي كثير، راح يضل ياخذ وقت سنين وعقود، حتى مش بس سنين، عشرات السنين لبالكي تمشي المواضيع هذه. بس في موديل ثاني، لو خلينا البروكرز، وهذا الحكي مش بس لإدارة السوق، هذا للريجوليترز كمان، يسمحوا للبروكرز يكبروا. عشان البروكر يكبر يصير البروكر يقدر يتداول لعملائه بأسواق المنطقة كلها وأسواق العالم، ويخلي البروكر يكبر. وإذا كبر البروكر بصير يقدر يستثمر، وإذا استثمر البروكر هذا بانفراستراكشر زي العالم، الاكونت تبع الكلاينت لما ينفتح. طب ما انا شابك على سوق الاسواق المنطقه والعالم، حطيت بس اكزامبل بسيط على اسواق المنطقه بما ضمنها العراق. بس انا لما اكون قادر اتعامل مع سوفيستيكيتد كلاينتس والزباين بالريتيل، اعطيه موبايل ابلكيشنز، بيجيني الكلاينت يقول لي حط لي اوردر الجوريثميك اوردر، اشتري لي ربع السوق، حط لي اوتوماتيكلي يشتري ويبيع، عندي 20 اوردر بدي احطهم بنفس الثانيه يروحوا يتنفذوا بنفس الطريقه، بدي كونديشنال اوردرز، ستوب لوسز، ريسيرش، كل هذا الحكي اذا بقدر اعمله خليني اعمله. بلكي انا انجح في اسواق المنطقه قبل ما انجح في السوق المحلي تبعي. بس بما انه انا بروكر عراقي وبديت بالاسواق وصرت مكتبي كبير شويه، عميلي نفس حسابه وكبسه زر برضه بيشتري بالسوق العراقي. فالموضوع مش انه عم بحاول اسحب ليكويديتي من السوق لبرا، انا عندي الموضوع انه الجيت كيبرز اللي حوالينا هذول بدنا نطورهم علشان يفتحوا مجال للعملاء السوفيستيكيتد المتطورين يدخلوا على السوق العراقي. انا بالاكزامبل البسيط، شو الاسواق اللي احنا بنحكي عنها في المنطقه؟ ممكن تكون هذه الاسواق كلها، ممكن ندخل اسواق المنطقه العربيه، السوق التركي، السوق الامريكي، السوق الاوروبي. وانت اول ما تطلع برا البلد في عندك تشالنجز كثيره. اول شيء احنا بنتعامل مع ريجوليتر واحد بالبلد، هلا نصير عندنا كل واحد من هدول له ريجوليتر وعمله وامور خاصه فيها وريكوايرمنتس بتتعقد. طيب البنوك العراقيه اليوم بقدر افتح فيها حساب بالدينار العراقي، بقدر افتح فيها حساب بكارنسيز مختلفه؟ ممكن. المفروض الهدف بالبروكرز اذا تحولوا ايفنشولي لبنوك استثماريه، طبعا مش بكبسه زر بصير بنك استثماري، البروكر بصير لوكال بروكر، ريجنال بروكر، جلوبال بروكر، بعدين ايفنشولي بصير بنك استثماري. هذا انا لما يجي عندي البروكر بيكبر، العميل لما يجي يحط فلوس مع البروكر، الفلوس هذه تدخل على البلد، ما بيفتح واحد تشيكينج اكاونت وبيحط فيه $1000 و$2000. البنوك الاستثماريه بالاخر انا لما اختص في المنطقه العربيه او المنطقه اللي انا فيها، اذا انا ممكن افتح حساب ببنك استثماري عراقي واختص فيه بالمنطقه، الفندز الاجنبيه والمنطقه بتصير تحب تتعامل مع بنك اقليمي لكل الاسواق في المنطقه. طب هذا بجيب ليكويديتي على البنوك. شفنا امبارح بعض البرزنتيشن تحكي عن البنوك العراقيه عندها ليكويديتي، هذا راح يجي بنوك فلوس اكثر. الانفستمنتس اللي بتدخل عادة بالملايين يعني عشرات الملايين. كبسة زر الناس على الاونلاين صاروا يشتروا فيها ب 10 مليون دولار كبسة زر على الموبايل ابلكيشن. فتخيل انت السنتين بتفتح، بعدين لما واحد يشتري بيطلع الفلوس لبرا، بس لما يبيع ترجع على البلد. فبتصير العراق والبنوك تبعتها والبروكرز جزء لا يتجزا من منظومه الفاينانشال سيرفيسز اندستري في البلد. البروكر بس اني امسك الشغله وازيحها لهون وادخلها لهون، هذه اسمها داتا انتري. انا اول ما ينزل فيه العميل مرحبا حط لي اوردر، حطيت له اوردر، بعت له الاوردر، خلصنا. اذا الاندستري ضلت داتا انتري ما راح تكبر، لازم تكبر. الموضوع اكبر من بس بروكرز واكسشينج. بما ان الحضور كله موجود هنا، ريبريزنتيفز من السنترال بانك، ريبريزنتيفز من البروكرج، ريبريزنتيفز من السوق، الكل لازم يقعدوا على ورشه عمل صحيحه ويحكوا عن الشغلات هذه كيف ممكن تنعمل. بعدين لو الريجوليشنز فتحت ويلا يا بروكرز اشتغلوا، في حدا بيعرف كيف ممكن تعملها، كيف بدك تبدا. مثلا انت لما تيجي تحكي عن الجلوبال بروكر، لما يصير جلوبال بالحاله هذه، عندك كثير بروكرز في العالم ممكن يجوك او زباين ممكن يفتحوا لك حسابات معك، يبعثوا لك اوردرز عن طريق بلومبرج سكرين، الاونلاين تبعه، دايركت ماركت اكسس، الفيكس تبعه ولا الفيكس تبعك، اشياء كثير. وبعدين انت بدك تبعث الاوردرات للسوق المحلي تبعك، وممكن انت تصير تبعثهم لبروكرز ثانيين لاسواق ثانيه. فالعمليه هاي كيف بتعالجها؟ كيف بتتعامل مع الداتا؟ كيف تتعامل مع الاشياء الثانيه؟ انا الكلاسيكال مود اوف ابلكيشنز عندي كسوفت وير، حطه عندي، اجيبه على السوق وجيب الاسعار الفوريه من السوق ودخلها السيستم تبعي وانا بعرض الاسعار. طب لو دخلنا لاسواق المنطقه، طيب لو دخلنا اسواق العالم معنا كمان، شو راح يصير؟ لو فتحنا على الاسواق الامريكيه، ابل على اول دقيقه تداول، قعد 10 سنين داتا من السوق العراقي اليوم، بس اول دقيقه تداول حجم داتا، شو حسوي فيه هذا؟ هذا كله المفروض يكون كلاود هوستد موجوده برا، وهي اللي بتحاول تعطي الداتا هذه للشاشات دايركت لليوزرز. بيكون عندي انا انفراستراكشر صحيحه. شو هي البلو برنت اللي بدي ابدا اشتغل عليها انا صح، عشان لما بدي اجي اكبر ما اخبط بحيط او بسقف. انا لما اكون شغال على لوكال ماركت، اي شيء قدامي ممكن يمشيني. بس لما انا اكبر I have to deal مع regulators كثار، اسواق، بنوك، كاستوديانز، زباين. في نوعين عندي، ريتيل انستتيوشنال، هذا احتياجاته غير هذا كثير. زباين بشكل عام، راوتنج نتوركس، ناس بقول لك انا بس عن طريق بلومبرج بجيب او رويترز او كذا، او ممكن يكون في نفس البلد. انت احيانا بتفكر انه هذول بس انترناشونال كلاينتس، بكره الفند مانجرز والاسيت مانجرز بيكون قدامه شاشه بلومبرج ولا شاشه اكس، بقول لك انا عمي بدي شاشه بلومبرج ابعث عليها اوردرات. طب انت جاهز تستقبل من بلومبرج، جاهز تبعث لبلومبرج او غيره والى اخره. وغير التليكوميونيكيشنز والاي تي وكيف بدك تركب الامور على بعض. هذا بس الفوق، ريل تايم داتا فيدز، اسعار فوريه من وين بدك تجيبها لكل الاسواق. يعني السوق المحلي سهل، هل بوكس بشكله على السوق، باخذ منه اسعار وبعطيه اوردرات فيكس، خلصنا بوينت تو بوينت. لما تكون في العالم كلياته بدي اجيب تيرابايتس اوف داتا ادخلها جوا البلد عشان بركي فلان الفلاني كليك بسباي ولا سيرت اعمار ولا جوجل، شوي الموضوع اكبر كثير ومش سكيلبل ات اول بالكلاسيكال مودز. وكومبلاينس، ديسكلوجر، كوربريت اكشنز، نيوز. كوربريت اكشنز كم سهم فيه ببغداد ستوك اكسشينج؟ ما احنا موجودين. كل يوم في كوربريت اكشن عندنا. شو يعني كوربريت اكشن؟ سبليتس، ديفيدنز الى اخره، ولما يصير كل البلد عارفه عنه. طب انا لما يكون في عندي كوربريت اكشن وفاتح ريجنال تريدنج لزبايني بامريكا وباوروبا وبالمنطقه، عم نحكي عن الاف مؤلفه من السيمبلز، كل يوم في كوربريت اكشن. السيستم تبعك لازم يكون مربوط بكلاود بيست سولوشنز ثانيه تقدر تحكي تعطي معلومات للسيستم تبعك وتقول له اليوم في سبليت على سهم اكس من زباينك حاملينه، دير بالك. لانه انت لما تطلع اونلاين الغلطه فيزبل، انت هلا لو انك مش اونلاين عندك مشكله بتظبطها بتصلحها وبعدين بتبعت السيرفر تبعك لعميلك اخر النهار. بس لما تطلع انت اونلاين حتى على اللوكال ماركت كل شيء ريل تايم، شفاف 100%. طب انت على الشفافيه قادر تمشي فيها على اللوكال ماركت، بس اذا بدك تضلك لوكال رح تضلك لوكال. لازم تكبر فكرك انك تصير واحد من الجلوبال انفستمنت بانكس او ريجنال انفستمنت بانكس. فالشغلات الثانيه في عندك تعرف كيف تتعامل مع الموضوع هذا. طيب انا وبعدين بدي فرونت ميدل باك اوفيس اكاونتنج، بدي استقبل بيمنتس من الزباين تبعوني، كبسه زر زي ما بدفع فاتوره موبايله عن طريق البنك، ليش ما يعمل لي ايداع بحسابي بالسويفت والى اخره؟ طب كيف بدي اطلع الفلوس؟ كيف بدي اشتغل بالكومبلاينس، الانتي ماني لوندرينج، اي ام ال، فاتكا، اشياء جانيه غريبه بتطلع من يمين وشمال، how do I deal with all of this؟ الموضوع كثير كبير ومعقد لما اطلع بس برا البلد شغله واحده، وانلس كانت عندي انا البروسس صح ما حقدر اشتغلها. في فيديو بسيط 90 ثانيه، يا ريت تعمل لي بلاي بس عشان يشوفوا الجمهور. تحت على الشمال، باك حط الماوس تحت، بلاي بطن بطلع على اليسار.
Successful financial institutions need to integrate a huge number of factors, from clients' demands to real-time markets fluctuations. However, as industries become less local and more global, such institutions are weighed down by the pressures of an increasingly complex financial ecosystem. Zag Financial Technologies helps clients balance a complicated global network with expertise, efficiency, and ease. Backed by significant research into challenges faced by leading financial institutions, Zag FinTech developed Zag Trader, which proved to be unmatched in the marketplace. While other ready-made solutions are too complex and costly, Zag Trader provides an integrated end-to-end order management system that helps our clients remain cost and effort efficient while managing industry pressures. Our platform integrates the front, middle, and back office while regulating risk management, AML and compliance, and algo trading. By partnering with leading global data providers, Zag Trader is connecting you to more than 200 exchanges worldwide. We feature offices in more than 10 locations, ensuring round-the-clock customer support by our dedicated team of multilingual consultants. Our platform has received market recognition for excellence in reliable and robust products for the banking and financial industry. Whether you're a small or large institution, we eliminate third-party accounting systems and multi-system integration and make it easy by giving you everything you need, all pre-integrated. Empower your financial services company to provide clients with online access to local, regional, and global exchanges. Call one of our consultants today and request a demo to set your business on the right track.
الموضوع مش بس اونلاين. احنا لسه بسمع بدنا اونلاين ويلا بدنا نشبك على الفيكس. هذه اي بي سيز من الريكوايرمنتس. eventually رح تدخلوا على الالجوريثميك تريدنج. انا بس عشان الوقت اوريكم. تعطوا الكلاينتس تبعونكم بورتلز. انا امبارح بالليل دخلت وطلعت شيء لبغداد فور سوفت درينكس، وكيف ممكن انت تعطي الكلاينتس تبعونك اكسس تو الاونلاين بلاتفورم وذ امبيدد ريسيرش بالانجليزي وبالعربي او بالتركي او تشاينيز او باي لغه بدك اياها، حتى بتطلع اذا بدك الدايركتورز والفاينانشال ستيتمنتس وكل اللي بدك اياه، بعض الريسيرش موجود قدامك. فهذه بعض التولز اللي انت بتقدر تقدمها للكلاينتس تبعونك. اناليتكس وتشارتنج. واحده انا امبارح خطرت ببالي اشوفها، ان عم بعمل انا كومباريسون امبارح بين تو سيمبلز موجودين بالسوق العراقي، بس كثير حكينا امبارح عن البوزيتيف كورليشن مع النفط، وانا اكتشفت امبارح انه ما في كورليشن. النفط الكرود اللي الخط الازرق وتحت الشارت تبعت واحده من السيمبلز، وين الكورليشن بين النفط وبين هاي؟ الموضوع بايدنا، مش موضوع بسعر النفط بس. تعطي كلاينتس eventually هذا. شكرا كثير.
شكرا لك على البرزنتيشن. الان نبدي بالسيشن الثاني اللي هو البنك كاستدي اند الاي كليرنج. يتفضل السيد بليز مستر شفيق from Skillbase. البنك المركزي العراقي ستوحد. السيد سامر حنقب من كوانتك، جنرال مانجر من كوانتك. البرزنتيشن الاول اللي حيقدمه السيد شفيق حامد من سكيل بيس، شركه كويتيه، وحينطي بعض الافكار اللي تخص المواضيع الخاصه بالبورصه والتجارب اللي مستر شفيق.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me around the back? I have some good news and I have some bad news. What would you like to hear first? Bad news? Bad news is you still have 3 or 4 sessions till you get to lunch. Yeah, I was trying to hide that. So the good news is that my presentation is 15 minutes. This is where you clap. Thank you. It was very interesting to follow this up with the IBM presentation, talking about clouds, talking about transformation, really very interesting. And I think my presentation sort of fits in that quite well. How many times do you think cloud was mentioned in this room in the last 20 minutes? 1,200? 1,000. Okay, so everybody's talking about cloud. Is it relevant? Is it not relevant? Is it really make you transform as an organization? If you buy 10 clouds, would the stock exchange be different? It's not what you buy as a technology. It's mindset. Are you culturally ready? You know, I've been in the Middle East for the last 20 odd years, and it's the culture that gets in the way, my opinion. It's the culture that says, no, I want to feel, I want to touch. Show me where my data is. Show me my data center. Okay, so I think the biggest decision, and we'll talk about some of the points here, that need to be taken. Are you ready culturally to move to online trading, brokers? That were a very nice presentation that was preceded me. These are the key issues. Issues around outsourcing. So what I'm going to talk about really is about transformation, about digital age, and about outsourcing some of the things, because that's what we're talking about. Okay? So as I said, the agenda is very straightforward. We're going to talk a little background, a little introduction. We're going to talk about some of the reasons to go outsourcing. And we're going to talk about the trends in stock markets. And I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of what's happening in the various stock markets around the world. And some closing points, all in 15 minutes. Okay, somebody's going to give me a nod from there saying when 15 minutes are up. So let's a little bit of background. We all know we're talking about this sort of cloud, etc., but we are aware of what are these new channels. What are these new digital channels that are coming through? Right, we all use them, whether it's Facebook is on the social media side, or we're using Amazon to order things. There's a lot of new digital channels. Go-to-market is something that the IBM mentioned quite a lot. What do you mean by go-to-market? We can all get technologies in, but speed is the key. How quick you do things. Amazon today is not the biggest retailer in the world because they went to cloud. Yeah, maybe, you know, that's the transport mechanism. It's nice. But is it really big because they went on cloud? No, because the business model, the way it is speed. Can I copy cloud like Amazon tomorrow? No. Okay, so speed is of very, very critical. Changing user experiences. A friend told me, just had a baby about a year ago, is that on the push chair, the kids, the baby in the pushchair is playing with an iPad. Before they learn to walk, before they learn to talk, they are using devices. So the new generation coming out, you have to be ready for their experiences. Will I be dealing with Iraq Stock Exchange? Probably not, I don't know. But the guys that you want to attract are today probably 10 years old. So it's a different thinking, it's a different mentality. I look at my kids and, they're sitting there and everything is digital. They are already transformed. We are in the process of. A lot of us are looking at legacy, the big iron, big IBM mainframes, etc. How do we simplify that? How do we get from this big iron to distributed clouds and the other ways of doing it? It's really about reinventing IT. Is Iraq Stock Exchange ready to reinvent IT? Otherwise, we're just talking concept. We can talk clouds till the clouds come home. We can talk. It's just concepts. But are you ready for cloud? And I think those are serious decisions that need to be taken. Maybe this is not the platform, and I'm sure maybe you're already doing a lot of that. Agile everything. Everything has to be fast, agile technologies, etc. And of course, big data is playing. I think IBM mentioned some very, very good thing about weather data. This ownership of data. This data can sit anywhere, and it is the biggest asset for any organization, is the data. Now, does the data come from IBM, one of their channels, or somewhere else? It is very, very important. So you have to imagine where Iraq Stock Exchange can go from today to wherever. How fast can they go? That's the key things. So I don't know why that slide is going like that, but anyway. So what is outsourcing? Why do people outsource? Anybody? Ready? Why do people outsource?
Easier.
Easier? Yes, it's easier. Cheaper. So there are lots of reasons for outsourcing. If you look at all the data, everybody's saying, well, improving efficiency. I want to be more efficient. I want to focus on my core. What is the core for stock exchange? What is the core? What does the stock exchange do? Well, shall I just focus on that, or should I now be worried about settlements and about the sort of the post-trade kind of scenarios? Okay. Better access to expertise? I don't know. Sorry? Very good point. How do I cut the learning curve? Okay, so I'm talking about this new IT. I want cloud people, but the people I have don't have the skill sets. What do I do? Just tell them go and learn on the cloud? Easier said. So you can cut that step, because if you're going to an outsourcing partner that can give you the skills like that, you are saving a lot of time. Okay, so that's a good one. Thank you. Reducing staff. I think I'd go with the cost savings and the efficiencies. That are probably the main reasons for outsourcing. What do you outsource? These are decisions that you need to take as well. The front office, the mid office, the back office. It's usually all around the back office. All the back office things, the validation, the settlements, those kind of things go in. However, there is more mid office coming in. I'll tell you what, a lot of front office is being outsourced now. And these are trends that you must look at quite carefully. So all the post-trade stuff, yes, it's always been a good candidate for outsourcing. Then you've got a lot of the mid office, the accounting part, and then a lot of the front office. So back office administration, collateral management, cash management, FX, a lot of that is outsourced. Is that something that would suit a model for ISX? decisions to be taken. Front office, there's a lot of companies that have found that Barclays, BNP, and there's a lot of people that are even outsourcing the front end, the front part there. And that is a very interesting trend in the market. Do you think that online trading has changed in the last 5 years drastically? Revolutionary? There's been massive changes in how stock exchanges work. Is ISX going to follow some of that? Is it going to mimic some? I think there is a lot to be learned from people like London Stock Exchange. A lot of you may have heard of this step, which is it is doing almost everything for the London Stock Exchange. Is anybody familiar with Una Vista?
Yep.
No? Oh, good. Excellent. That's nice. So, quick conclusions. You have to think, plan, and reinvent IT. Technology plays a critical role. Without technology, you really don't have anything today, right? But bringing that technology is also about a rethinking mindset. It's a different mindset. And if we are still dithering about where this should go, or no, I don't want cloud and regulations and all that, which are all very, very applicable. But then you've got to cut that out and say, culturally, we're not ready. Let me get a big mainframe, put it in the corner. I can see it every morning. I touch it and feel it, and it's working. And that's a completely different way of doing things. But reinventing is what you need to think about. You have to think about where the partnership's going to happen with outsourcing. What is it that is too core, and you would never, I want to hide that. That is mine. And what do you take forward? To say, well, that potentially I can outsource. So it's not as simple as saying it's just the front office, mid office, back office. All the back office are outsourced, all the front office I keep. It's not that easy. And a lot of decisions I think need to be taken. Technically, technology, I'm trying to keep this really non-technical, but this issue is really a lot about technology. What is this API end, this sort of ease of integration, which is going to be very, very key. Not every business needs to run at the same speed. There's some businesses where speed is an essential, but others where without speed, you're doomed. Employ multiple governance and operating models. I think you need to say, this is the kind of organization I want to build in 5 years, in 10 years, in 2 years. Probably not 10, because that's, speed is a crucial thing. And how do I want to govern this? What is the operating model that I want to use? You have to rethink architecture, traditional IT architecture, mainframe, some sort of front end, lots of people talking to the mainframe. Very nice and simple. We're not very happy with that because I was brought up on mainframes, IBM mainframes actually, and it's quite scary how things have changed from having that glass room to now. We don't know where your data is. We don't know where anything is. Is that a concept that needs more discussion? And I think it does. So there's something called software-defined data center. You can look it up. There's loads of documents on it, which is what they're saying for the financial world. It is the type of architecture that is required because you need to decide what architecture suits the capital markets. Build an application programming interface. Again, a bit too technical, but trust me on that. I'm very happy to talk to anybody if they want more details on that. But this API needs to be looked at because that's the only way you outsource, and that's the only way you go to clouds. That's the only way you do partnerships. Think cloud, new skills, new tools. It's the mindset. Who leads the mindset? If you think IT is going to get up one day and say, we're going to do this. No, it's really going to come much higher than IT. It's got to be the guys at the top who'll say, you know what, I know it's difficult, these are our challenges, but we'll go this is the steps going to full cloud. I won't use the backup slides unless there's no reason, but that's my presentation. 15 minutes, you know everything it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. تفضل مهندس محمد الكريم البنك المركزي العراقي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. في البداية أحب أشكر الأستاذ طه على دعوتي للحضور وفتح مجال إنه أقدم ورقة. أنا أعتقد إنه الارتباط قوي وثيق ما بين سوق العراق الأوراق المالية ونظام المدفوعات العراقي. يعني كل نظام بتبادل الأسهم والسندات يحتاج إلى نظام مدفوعات كفؤ لتحويل الأموال حتى تتم العملية بسلاسة. راح أتحدث اليوم إنه أين نحن في نظام المدفوعات العراقي بالبنك المركزي وما هي الخطوات اللاحقة لننتهجها. ما يخفى على حضراتكم تعتبر حاليا أنظمة المدفوعات على مستوى العالم هي مقياس درجة تطور القطاع المصرفي. وهذا اللي هو جعل العديد من البنوك المركزية تحاول دائما تطور وتدخل التحسينات والتقنيات في هذا المجال. البنك المركزي العراقي أيضا منذ عام 2004 اهتم جدا بهذا المحور وبدأ بناء التحتية لنظام المدفوعات. بعام 2006 انطلقنا لايف بنظام الRTGS، وطبعا يعني ذاك الحين كانت عدد المصارف محدود، التحويلات محدوده، وبتزامن مع تطوير البنى التحتيه اصبحت الان من المتطلبات الرئيسيه للمصارف هو نظام التسويه الاجماليه الانيه، واكيد الانظمه اللي مرتبطه به الاخرى اللي راح حاليا ندخل عليها. أصبح الآن نظام الRTGS هو من الركائز الأساسية بالقطاع المصرفي العراقي، وحاليا بحدود 15 تريليون دينار عراقي شهريا يتم التحويلات عن طريقه. من ذلك الوقت احنا بدينا جاهدين انه نريد نسوي بنى تحتيه لنظام المدفوعات، وبالتوازي معها نشجع المصارف حتى يكون عندها انظمه اساسيه ويكون تكامل ما بين هذه الانظمه، حتى نضمن انه احنا راح نخلي في القاعده رصينه لنمو الخدمات وتحسينها وتقديمها هو افضل للجمهور. مكونات نظام المدفوعات راح امشي عليها بشكل سريع. طبعا هو المكون الاساسي والرئيسي هو نظام التسويه الاجماليه ريال تايم. حاليا جميع المصارف العراقيه وفروع المصارف الاجنبيه كلها ووزاره الماليه مشاركين مباشرين بالنظام، وكل الانظمه الاخرى اللي راح تتفرع هي مرتبطه بشكل مباشر مع نظام الRTGS اللي هو نظام التسويه بالبنك المركزي. ومثل ما تعرفون حضراتكم جميع المصارف هي مفتوح حساباتها بالبنك لأغراض التسوية. النظام الآخر هو نظام الحفظ المركزي لإيداع الأوراق المالية. البارحة الدكتور محمود أغنانا بالحديث عنه. نظام الإيداع الأوراق المالية احنا بدينا به بال 2009، بس مع هذا احنا دائما نخلي تحسينات عليه ونضيف له أدوات جديدة. انطلقنا بموضوع التريدنج قبل فترة قليلة حتى ننشط السوق الثانوية، وأيضا احنا حاليا مهتمين بإضافة أدوات جديدة، أدوات الإيداع الإسلامية، أدوات استثمار الودائع، وكلها راح تكون من منصة واحدة هي منصة CSD. الغرض من عندها انه احنا راح نفتح باب الاستثمار الآمن للمصارف العاملة بالعراق، وايضا راح تكون هذه الادوات هي بمثابه ضمانات للمصارف اللي قد تتعثر بنظام الRTGS. النظام الثالث هو نظام المقاصة الالكترونيه. نظام المقاصة الالكترونيه يشمل نوعين من ادوات الدفع، اوامر الدفع الدائمه والصكوك الالكترونيه. طبعا نظام المقاصة الالكترونيه على مستوى العراق كله في جميع المحافظات وجميع المصارف، الفروع الرشيد والرافدين والمصارف الاهليه، وحاليا تم اثبات جميع الحوالات والصكوك فيما بين المصارف. بالرغم من ان احنا طبقنا هذا النظام، لكن احنا شفنا اكو خلل او اكو فجوه، انه المصارف الحكوميه لا تملك نظام مصرفي شامل، وما زالت الحوالات اللي تتم حوالات المباعه والمبتاعه اللي تتم عن طريق هاي المصارف في خارج النظام. لذلك البنك المركزي قرر انه يطور جزء من نظام المقاصة الالكترونيه لمقاصة ما بين الفروع المصرف الواحد. وانطلقنا هذا بدايه ايضا من بدايه هاي السنه، فحاليا جميع فروع مصرف الرافدين والنشيد حتى التحويلات اللي بين فروعهم تتم عن طريق هذا النظام، وهذا اتاح للبنك المركزي ولهذه المؤسسات من مراقبة والإشراف على جميع التحويلات اللي تتم سواء بفروعهم في داخل بغداد أو المحافظات بدون الإدارات العامة للدخول المباشر على أرض النوم ومراقبتها. بالتاكيد اكيد حضراتكم قريبين من الوضع المصرفي والمالي وتعرفون انه ايضا في نهايه العام المنصرم انطلقنا لايف مشروع المقسم الوطني. المقسم الوطني هو مشروع لتطوير البنى التحتيه بالتجزئه اللي يمكن كل مواطن عنده بطاقه يقدر يستخدمها في بمكاين الصرف الالي او مكاين الدفع البوينت اوف سيل. وطبعا هاي كلها كانت قبل هي موجوده لكن استعمالاتها محدوده لمصدر التسويات خارج العراق. لما كملنا هذا المشروع وانطلقنا به المقسم الوطني ايضا مرتبط مباشره بنظام التسويه الاجماليه الاليه وتتم عمليات التسويه بشكل مباشر بالبنك المركزي العراقي. هذا الموضوع حاليا خلانا ننطلق بالعديد من المبادرات والمشاريع حتى نستفاد من هاي البنى التحتيه. وطبعا ما يخفى على حضراتكم انه الموضوع التقنيات وموضوع الانظمه الجديده بهالمجال هذا ما راح تتوقف. لذلك احنا حاليا الاشياء المهمه اللي بدينا نعمل عليها واللي نريد ندخلها سريعا هو موضوع الفاست بيمنت. الفاست بيمنت هو ريال تايم للريتيل بيمنت، يعني احنا حتى مدفوعات التجزئه راح تكون بالريال تايم وان شاء الله راح تتنفذ ضمن الوقت المحدد لها في البنك المركزي ضمن الجداول اللي وضعناها. من اهم البنى التحتيه اللي احنا وضعناها حتى ننفذ نظام مدفوعات متكامل ونقدر ننطلق بالمبادرات اللي وضعناها، لان مثل ما تعرفون حضراتكم البنك المركزي وضع استراتيجيه للخمس سنوات القادمه بها العديد من المبادرات اللي تخص انظمه الدفع واللي بالنهايه راح تساعدنا في عمليه تحقيق الاستقرار المالي، تحسين الادوات اللي نقدر ننطلق بها. الأنظمة بسرعة عامة إذا إحنا ما نمشي بالتحديث مالتها مجرد إنه امتلكناها ووقفنا معناه إحنا نتراجع لورا، ويمكن الأساتذة التقنيين واللي قريبين من عندنا اللي يعرفون هذا الموضوع. لذلك إحنا اهتمينا جدا إنه مو فقط نمتلك أنظمة، إحنا نمتلك أنظمة من شركات رصينة متخصصة، نحترم الملكية الفكرية ودائما نهتم بعملية تحديث هذه الأنظمة. كانت الانطلاقة الأخيرة تحديث نظام المدفوعات بداية عام 2016. كان تحديث كامل للأنظمة من ناحية السوفت وير والهاردوير، ضفنا وظائف جديدة مكنت المصارف من تكامل أنظمتها الأساسية مع نظام المدفوعات. وهذا الموضوع هو بالنهاية راح يعود للمصارف حتى تقدم خدمات أفضل لزبائنها. البنك المركزي بالنهاية من يطور البنى التحتية، من يطور الأنظمة، يريد يضيف القاعدة للمصارفين تقدم الخدمات للجمهور. احنا كمان ابدا ما راح نكون في يوم من الايام ايشيور واكواير، احنا مجرد نريد ننظم القطاع، نريد انه نخلي الاطار القانوني وايضا نخلي البنى التحتيه اللي تسمح للمصارف تطور عملياتها والاستفاده من هذه البنى التحتيه. وبالتاكيد احنا يعني جهودنا منصب بهالموضوع هذا، نريد نجيب افضل ما يمكن، نحدث اول باول، نقرا التعليمات والقوانين حتى تكون قابله للتطبيق وهي تصب في مصلحه المستخدمين الحقيقيين اللي هم المصارف والمؤسسات الماليه. حتى ننفذ النظام بشكل امن، ايضا من عام 2008 احنا اهتمينا انه يكون اكو شبكه ربط للمصارف العراقيه، مو فقط الاعتماد على الانترنت، الانترنت وشبكه البي بي ان هي هاي راح يكون في شيء ثاني يعتمد عليها. شبكه ربط المصارف العراقيه احنا بدينا بها وهي افضل التقنيات بحينها كانت الواي ماكس، وحاليا ايضا عندنا مشروع تحديثها حتى نعتمد على الكيبل الطويل واللي يتم جميع المصارف مرتبطين بها وتبادل المدفوعات عن طريقها. ايضا اهتمينا بمراكز البيانات وانشاء مراكز بيانات وفق افضل الممارسات. بنينا مراكز بيانات 2 داخل بغداد وهوت سايت ايضا كود سايت في البصره، وعندنا خطه ووضعنا التصاميم لانشاء ديزاستر ريكفري خارج العراق. اللي يهمنا انه تكون البيانات محميه وعندنا في حاله لا سامح الله حدوث اي مشكله عندنا رجوع اللحظي للانظمه. حتى ننفذ هذا الموضوع كله بشكل صحيح وآمن اهتمينا جدا بموضوع الإطار القانوني، لذلك صدرنا نظام خدمات دفع الكتروني للأموال لرقم 3 سنة 2014. هذا النظام يتيح لنا انه احنا نضع الاطار القانوني لكل العمليات من خلال نظام المدفوعات، وايضا بمواد كثيره حول انه تنظيم السوق وترخيص مزودي خدمات دفع الكتروني، ادخال مؤسسات ماليه جديده بالسوق، الغرض من عندهم هم راح يكونون محصلين او مصدرين لادوات دفع او معالجين، وكذلك انه ننظم عمليه الدفع عن طريق الموبايل، لانه احنا اذا ما قدرنا نتواكب هاي العمليات ونخليها اطار قانوني معناها انه احنا ما راح نقدر نتقدم ايضا بالمستقبل بالتقنيات اللي راح ان شاء الله تكون موجوده بالمستقبل القريب. هذا ما موجود حاليا. احب انه يعني اشير بايجاز ما هي الخطوات القادمه واللي احنا بدينا بيها اللي تصب في تطوير عملنا. طبعا احنا حتى نكون وفق الاطار الدولي من المجال هذا استعانينا بخبراء من البنك الدولي حتى نقيم نظام المدفوعات. ما هي الممارسات الفضلى وما هي المعايير الدوليه اللي صدرت من البنك التسويات، وما هو اللي يحتاج لنا بالبنك المركزي العراقي على مستوى الدوله بشكل عام لتنظيم البنك والمؤسسات حتى نرتقي بهذا النظام. بصراحه احنا مهتمين بالمخاطر اللي صدرت بموجب هذه المعايير، انه احنا شلون نقدر انه نوظفها ونضع التعليمات اللي تنظمها واللي راح تمنع تعثر المشاركين يعني تخلينا انهم مطمئنين نمشي بالاتجاه السليم. مخاطر الائتمان، مخاطر الضمانات، مخاطر السيوله، مخاطر القانونيه والمخاطر التشغيليه، هذول من اهم الاشياء اللي احنا مهتمين نخليها تعليمات. وايضا اشار الدكتور محمود البارحه بالكلمه اللي لقاها علينا استمتعنا بها جدا بالمعلومات اللي اعطاها، انه البنك المركزي اصدر تعليمات انه كل المصارف يجب يكون عندها نسبه من الضمانات كسكيورتيز. طبعا هذه مو فقط انه احنا راح تخلينا انه يكون عندنا ثقه بالمصارف، هي ايضا راح تخلي انه في حاله تعثر اي مصرف نقدر نستخدمها هاي الضمانات ك يعني انه راسا نسيلها والمبالغ المتعثره نقدر نغطيها. طبعا وضعنا جدول زمني، صار لنا اكثر من عام نعمل على هذا الموضوع، وضعنا جدول زمني وان شاء الله خلال وقت قريب راح ننهي من هذا الموضوع وراح يوصلنا في العراق من ضمن الدول اللي ماشيه ضمن المعايير الدوليه لانظمه المدفوعات. احنا بالرغم من انه عندنا نظام لخدمات دفع الكتروني الاموال، لكن وبالتنسيق ايضا مع خبراء البنك الدولي اعدينا نسخه من قانون المدفوعات. قانون المدفوعات راح ينطي في اطار قانوني رصيد للجميع، سواء من بنك مركزي الى مصارف الى المستهلك الاخير اللي يوصل له. وانا من هذا المنبر احب ايضا ادعو سوق العراق الاوراق الماليه والقانونيين الموجودين يشاركونا بقراءه المواد المتعلقه بتبادل السندات، تبادل الاسهم. احنا بالنهايه ما نريد يكون عندنا تعليمات او قوانين، نريد نكون من البدايه نعمل مع بعض حتى تكون الاطار القانوني راح يغطي جميع الفعاليات وجميع الحاليه والمستقبليه ايضا، نريد ناخذها بنظر الحسبان. في تطور نظام المدفوعات بهالشكل هذا صار قرار البنك المركزي وبموافقه مكتب رئيس الوزراء انه احنا ننشئ مجلس مدفوعات وطني. مجلس المدفوعات الوطني هذا راح يكون برئاسه السيد محافظ البنك المركزي وعضويه كبار الموظفين بالمؤسسات الحكوميه والاهليه. هذا المجلس هو مجلس مو تنفيذي استشاري، راح هو اللي صادق على استراتيجيه المدفوعات، راح تنبثق من عنده لجان، راح ينظم عمليه الدفع والخطط والتوقيتات اللي موجوده به، وايضا يرفع التوصيات الى مجلس الاداره او الى الجهات التنفيذيه بداخل البنك المركزي. احنا نريد يكون عملنا في المدفوعات بطريقه منهجيه وبطريقه متميزه، لان احنا نعرف انه القادم اكو عندنا انفتاح كبير بالسوق، اكو عندنا مبادرات كبيره. الاهداف الرئيسيه اللي نريد نوصلها انه احنا نتحول من مجتمع الورقي الى مجتمع اللا نقدي. هذا في العديد من المبادرات، العمل مع كثير من الجهات، يعني هذا صراحه مو مسؤوليه البنك المركزي وحده، احنا راح نكون قياديين ونحمل لواء التغيير فيما يخص عملنا، لكن محتاجين دعم من جهات اخرى حتى نوصل للشمول المالي. الشمول المالي هو وحده من الاهداف الرئيسيه للبنك المركزي، واللي نعني به انه كل مواطن له حق انه يجب يكون له اداه دفع الكترونيه. اداه دفع الكترونيه يقدر يدير بها حياته الماليه، يستقبل حوالات، يدفع حواله، جبايه الكترونيه، رواتب. لذلك العديد من المبادرات راح تنطلق هي تصب في هذا الموضوع. شكرا جزيلا، اسف على الاطاله.
تفضل السيد سامر كوندكت من جنرال مانجر لشركه كوانتم.
نعطيكم good news ولا bad news؟ good news بعد في عندي session أنا. It's okay. So just a small introduction about Quantec and Infotech business systems. Just a small introduction. نحن شركة كوانتك تأسست سنة 1995 بلبنان mainly to serve the banking sector ببيروت. رافقنا البنوك اللبنانية through their journey, and I'm going to talk about a little bit the digital transformation in banking. ونحكي بشكل كثير بسيط على how banks can link to stock exchanges through brokers or not through brokers. What does it take from an infrastructure perspective such that banks are able to digitally serve their clients and then link to the Iraq Stock Exchange or any stock exchange in Iraq. Through our years of experience, but just a small brief, Quantec فيها 4 departments مقسم إلى شيء بيسموه أنظمة الدفع. We have a complete payment system. نحن we partner مع شركة يورونت متخصصين بالimplementation لكل شيء ATM switches, point of sale, credit card management systems, mobile payments, you name it. عندنا حوالي 18 client as our customers بهال area. We were innovative بكل شيء, new innovations on the ATM مثل deposit automation, loan payments على ATM, إذا كان cash, إذا كان debit cards, credit cards, whatever. عندنا department ثاني بقلب Quantec اللي هي لها علاقة بالomni channel experience. We partner مع شركة SAP بنعطي كل شيء اسمه corporate banking, mobile banking, consumer banking across the internet, completely omni channel. It was the latest, newest technologies on the user experience. And the Canada department, we have a Quantec that we offer infrastructure where we for everything that has to do with banks. Through our journey of implementing these systems, تعلمنا a roadmap where banks can measure themselves where they are بالنسبة للdigital journey. تعطيكم example على one of the products that we've developed with one of the banks locally بالبلد. في عندنا بنك جرب يركب موبايل بانكينج بس they said عنده قاعدة عملاء كبيرة but they wanted هالكاستمر هيدا to enroll in a mobile banking app without going to the branch. So what they did was they took a debit card with their PIN to be granted by Visa. Immediately they download the app in the store. They put the debit card once and they put the PIN once. Immediately the customer is given a user ID and password. And then immediately the client can start working in his accounts, do transfers to wherever they want. So during implementation of these kinds of products and services بقلب البنوك تعلمنا على something about architecture. What does it take from your systems to be able to offer such products and services? في products تانية قدمناها, for example, integration مع Western Union, where a client is sitting on his consumer banking and he is able to do any transfers, بيطلع ال MTCN number and then he gives it لأي شخص له, he goes to the nearest ATM, بيحط ال MTCN number and withdraws cash. Now, to do all of these types of products and services requires a certain type of infrastructure and architecture بقلب البنك. So طلعنا عن كل البنوك, and I know the 44 banks in Lebanon, I know their systems inside and out. I counted, there are around 25 different applications بقلب البنك, من الcore banking, treasury, trade finance, AML, KYC, FATCA, mobile banking, internet banking, and all these systems have to work together to be able to provide such services. And when you give digitally to the clients, sometimes you tell them to use these channels without going inside the branch, requires you to infuse some intelligence inside these kinds of architectures. So for example, one of the products we are working on today, مع بعض البنوك, is a customer عنده debit card, عنده another savings account for $1 million. And then he comes to the ATM and he's trying to buy for 2,000 وما عنده مصاري بحسابه الدebit. Would you approve such a transaction while you decline it for the client? There should be some intelligence inside the architecture of the bank such that the system can authorize such a transaction and overdraft the client. Another one is a pre-approved loan. you can look at قاعدة العملاء تبعكم تطلعوا على الكريدت سكورينج مالتهم and then do a pre-approved loan for your clients, which means he can go on his mobile app trying to purchase something or whatever at a store. Something comes up, dear Mr. Client, you have a pre-approved loan of $5,000. Would you like to accept it or not? You can immediately accept, and the customer is given a loan. So to do all of this, أنا ما أتحمل على all my presentation. It will take 3 hours, so I didn't have time to prepare. نفس الشيء في زميلي كمان عن إنه barriers to digital transformation in the cultural, organization, technology, and regulatory. So these are barriers to digital transformation that you have. So during our work with all the banks, we discovered, and this is also based on our partner IBM and lots of consultancy companies around the world, there are 5 maturity stages where each institution will find itself. So each bank of you can categorize himself in one of these stages, maturity stages for digital transformation. So the first one is maturity stage 1, is these systems, when you put these 25 systems across the bank, these applications evolved on demand basis. Suddenly Chairman Yusuf al-Bilbam, and he says, I heard that mobile banking is a great system, let us put mobile banking. Suddenly, you find مثلا Biglos Bank in Iraq is putting corporate banking systems specifically for corporates, where corporates can do their corporate banking. Then you decide to put a corporate banking application. To put a corporate banking application, which we have done, you have to integrate with 8 different systems on the back end. And around 80% of your work as a bank will come out of integration work that will go through all these applications. So these systems are not digital, they are all paper-based. أعطيكم فكرة مثلا. You want to go to do account opening. دايما بنقول احنا digital transformation, let's change our core banking. Core banking is just one system. It's a transactional system. There are other components that will affect your digital transformation. I'm trying to be fast because the system is not so clear. So application added on a need basis, they respond hastily to pressure to provide digital channels. What I call these is you are providing a kind of experience for digital, but this is not digital experience. So some of the things, they are integrated point-to-point architectures, long project delivery cycles, okay? Business processes remain manual. إذا بدي أفتح حساب بعند الفرع بدي أمضي ورقة بدي ياخذها لمدير الفرع بدها ترجع تروح على الهيد أوفيس. It's all a manual process. Core banking will never be able to build a core banking application vendors أصحابنا من Temenos, Mices, iFlex. We work with them all, we integrated with them all. But don't do the mistake of trying to automate your business processes using the core banking. There are agile systems to enable you to do that. إذا كان loan origination, إذا كان account opening, and the rest of it. Also paper. Everything is paper-based. You can never be digital if you don't solve the problem of paper inside. So these are the kinds of questions we hear banks talking about when they focus on such an architecture. Let us change our core banking. Let us move into the cloud. Let us put that. Let us put that. What is the answer to a digital transformation? In fact, lots of banks have done digital transformation based on a complete architecture, which I'm going to give you in just a moment. Okay? The second stage, don't look at this chart. This is what you call services-oriented architecture. It takes your operational systems like core banking, treasury, trade finance, AML, ATM switch, credit card management system, fraud management system. Whatever you have as systems, it makes them all work together to align business people and IT. Inside this, because lots of Lebanese banks today are in the process of implementing such an architecture to respond to digital transformation. Inside this architecture, we discovered there are 2 maturity stages. There is maturity level 1 and maturity stage 2, because the previous architecture is not working for them. It's too complicated, it's too manual based, they're not able to put innovative products and services for their clients. So they're moving into such type of architecture. In maturity stage 2, all your applications will be connected, and there's no time now to explain it technically. All your applications will be connected in a single point of contact to that. But still, at this stage, all the services that you are providing, are still what we call application level services. Just to give you an example, sometimes you can visualize. Imagine you are doing an evaluation of a loan for a client. What do you do when you evaluate a loan? You have to find out how many defaulted checks did he have, how many times he didn't pay his credit card. You have probably to consult Central de Risque, the credit bureau of the central bank. You have to do all of these things. So you sit from one system to the other, on the credit card management system, on the AML system, you have to look on this. It's all manual. So in such an architecture, you are providing independent services. The third type of architecture, it's also in services-oriented architecture. You start discovering business services. For example, a credit scoring service. You are walking through a business process, you just consult credit scoring. And it's this system in the middle that goes to all these applications, collects this information, and presents it to the person doing the process. What is the score of that client? I recently had a meeting with the chairman of a bank when we solved a very, very big project for loan origination. And I asked him, why is a car loan taking seven days? Okay? And they don't know. They don't have the KPIs such that they can improve on their operational efficiency. And he said اللي بيصرف أكثر بالبنك هو اللي بيشتغل أكثر أو بيكون عنده لود كبير. That's the only way they could evaluate. When you put such systems in place to automate all these processes, you start to have KPIs and dashboards. How you can improve on the operational efficiency inside the bank. And it is at this stage that you start transforming and digitizing your processes. You download a mobile banking app and you say checkbook order. When بتفوت checkbook order على mobile app? فوتها file. You think millennials will be able to wait for you until you deliver a checkbook على file, then we call banking, until they print that check? These millennials expect response at the digital speed. So a checkbook order request should enter electronically into the business process where you have escalation procedures if that checkbook has not been worked on within a specific period of time. And then the mobile app, when this client is walking next to the branch, he sees his location, and he will tell him, Mr. Client, please walk into the branch, your checkbook is ready, or your credit card is ready. I'm not talking science fiction. These things we are doing today. But I tell you one thing, the core banking alone will not solve the problem to that. And this is a problem in all the banks that I talk to in Iran, because there's a perception that the core banking is the solution to all problems. Sometimes you have to implement core banking to solve an operational risk problem, to make sure your transactions are safe. But you have to accompany the core banking with a transformation software that we will be talking about. So at this stage, okay, I'm not going to talk, it's too technical, okay? Okay, at this stage, these are the processes that I've been talking about, okay? And then this is the kind of systems that we design to solve the process. And then we interface to the lower end, this is the transformation software. So the idea is the following. هذا سنة an open group for digital خلصنا؟ طيب, just one slide for you. So these are your systems. Core banking usually sits here. So the idea is the following. You have to put two layers on top, simplest manner, what we call systems of integration and flexibility, and then the layer on top are the systems of engagement with my colleagues, the IBM. So we as a company, we offer these two components on top of your legacy systems, in addition to the ATM, point of sale, you name it. Thank you very much. And one more thing, how to link لإيران ما وصلنا. You have to have what we call systems of external integration, which means the following. Imagine أنا عندي ويب سايت في جنبه 100,000 clients. I want to offer my clients information about the loans of a bank. ما بدي اروح اقول له للكلاينت please go to the website and check the loan اللي موجود من البنك، قاعده شو الخدمات اللي بيقدمها البنك. لازم يكون في button check مثلا this bank's loans. There should be electronically you go to that using an API. One of my colleagues and the bank should open up its systems via APIs such that everybody can consult his products and services. Thank you very much. It's too short.
Thank you very much. اوكي. هسه انت طبعا اذا في حاله عند اي شخص منكم عنده سؤال على المواضيع اللي طرحوها الاخوان في الجلسه.
أنا صحيح عندي تعليق وأكثر من سؤال، وهو من واقع تجربتنا بالعراق. أنا خريج العراق 1980. عندنا وشغالين بالأردن، اشتغلنا بالعراق أكثر من مشروع. المشكلة الأكبر اللي تواجه العراق هو عملية نقل المعرفة وتوطينها. هذه هي سامعين؟ اللي وجدناه احنا بالعراق انه اكو مشكله كبيره بالجاب اللي صارت من الحصار الى الثوره الى اسقاط النظام الى كلها، انه انتم كنتم مغيبين، والتغييب هذا فصلتوا عن العالم. فلازم اي مشروع تحطه يكون في توطين للخبره. التوطين للخبره اليوم اللي بنشوفه بالعراق هو تدريب، هذا غير كافي. التدريب غير كافي، لازم يكون الكوادر العراقيه تتدرب جوا وهي اللي تشتغل بالشغل. اللي كنا نحكيه مع الاستاذ اللي قدم محاضره جيده جدا هو ليش انا اروح اوت سورسنج؟ انت ما تروح اوت سورسنج، you should go right sourcing. الرايت سورسنج is a new مصطلح جديد احنا بدنا نستعمله، انه انا ايش قد اجيب من برا وايش قد استخدم من عندي. السؤال كيف المصرف العراقي المركزي او الاي اس اكس يحلوا هاي المشاكل؟
أنا أشكر مداخلتك وأهم الأشياء المهمة اللي إحنا بالبنك المركزي نهتم فيها. يمكن إحنا يعني دائما نقول إحنا صح كنا متأخرين وتفقدات، لكن إحنا محظوظين. هاي التقنيات اللي إحنا راح نبدي باللاتس يعني آخر ما وصل إليه الآخرون. أكو هواية دول حاليا حتى يغيرون تقنياتهم أو يمشون بها لازم إنهم يبدلون كل مكان أو كل كارتات. احنا بالنسبه لنا راح نبكي في اخر ما وصل الى الموضوع هذا. موضوع بناء القدرات احنا جدا مهتمين، لذلك احنا نريد المواطن العراقي هو اللي يتدرب واللي ياخذ دوره وهو اللي يقود العمل داخل العراق. صحيح احنا نفتح باب للخطاب الاجنبيه، بس احنا نفتح باب انه هي تجي للعراق، وهذا اللي صار قبل يومين انه احنا ايضا قمنا مؤتمر للتقنيات المصرفيه، وكان المؤتمر في بغداد. اريد انه الشركات اللي تريد تشتغل بهذه المجالات هذه تيجي للعراق الجراند وتبدي الخطوات الاولى من داخل بغداد، من داخل العراق هذا العمل، وهذا اعتقد جواب لحضرتك. شكرا على مداخلتك.
شكرا جزيلا استاذ ضحى، طبعا نتمنى لكم التوفيق وانه تكونوا انتم القياديين بالمجتمع العراقي وتعاوننا وياكم حتى نخلق سوق مال يضاهي الاسواق اللي موجوده بالعالم. شكرا جزيلا.
السلام عليكم. شكرا على معلومات هايله وتنظيمات دايركشنز يعني بالنسبه للشغل بالعراق، وحتى نوافق التعليمات البنك المركزي بالدرجه الاولى بالنسبه للبنوك بالنسبه للبورصه. ذكرتي حضرتك انه الباك اب راح نخلي الداتا مال البنك المركزي العراقي خارج العراق، بينما انا من 30 سنه اشتغلت فيها بالعراق دائما نشوف مشكله بالنسبه للباك اب بالنسبه للبنوك او حتى الاي اس اكس انه ممنوع خارج العراق. فالبنك المركزي شلون الا يسمح لنفسه، بينما on the other side يعني يا ريت والله لانها جديده علينا.
احنا بالنسبه لنا الداتا سنتر اللي بنيناها هي بالعراق، بنينا داتا سنتر وفق افضل المعايير، واتمنى من اي واحد يعني اختصاص ومهتم انه يطلع عن هاي التجربه يشرفنا بالبنك المركزي، وانا راح احصل الموافقات اللازم حتى تزوروها وتشوفون مدى التقنيات اللي احنا بدينا بيها. سوينا 2 داتا سنتر داخل بغداد، وسوينا ايضا داتا سنتر ثالث هو بالبصره. كلها هاي داخل العراق، وصدرنا ايضا تعليمات للمصارف العراقيه خلال سنتين لازم يكون جميع داتا سنتر عندهم هي داخل العراق. انا اللي تحدثت عليه انه يكون ايضا عندنا ديزاستر ريكفري في حاله انه لا سمح الله يكون فشل في ذنب ثلاثه يكون اكو خارج العراق، لكن هي قاعده مراكز البيانات كلها بالداخل. شكرا على مداخلتك.
بس طبعا اسمحي لي بعد تكون انكربتد، يعني باك اب برا يكون انكربتد
طبعا بالتاكيد. وانا يعني هذا بس انه اي واحد مختص وصاحب اختصاص بهالمجال هذا يقدر يستفاد من ملاحظاته. اذا صار لكم زياره للعراق تجون تشوفوا هالمواقع اللي داخل بغداد او بالبصره ونسمع الملاحظات. شكرا.
سؤال؟ اوكي. شكرا جزيلا. الان راح ننتقل الى موضوع اللي هو داتا برودكشن. داتا برودكشن اللي هو راح نتكلم به على الاجراءات اللي اتبعناها في الاي 6 والانظمه الحديثه لعمليه في حمايه قواعد البيانات والشبكات. اكون هنا تحدثني بهذه من المواضيع المهمه جدا في الوقت الحاضر بامان بيئه امنه. تفضل السيد ديفيد ابو جوده، تيم ليدر من كمبيوتر بزنس ماشين. مهندسنا فائق محمد، قسم الانظمه الالكترونيه السوق العراقي. السيد عمر عباس، اي بي ام اناليست.
Okay. It's just going here. It's coming up. Thank you.
Is it in slideshow mode? Thanks very much. So, hi everyone. I promise I'll try to be quick. I know that everyone's getting hungry and that we're already behind the schedule. My name is David Dabijaoud. I'm product manager and team leader at CDM. And I look mainly after our IBM software practice. So hopefully at the end of my sessions, and I hope it will be a beneficial session, you'll be able to see some security statistics and interesting facts that are happening in the financial services sector here in the Middle East. I'm going to give you also some interesting use cases. What I'm going to be covering as well is hopefully you'll be able to understand at a very high level the IBM security solutions and why is IBM #1 in security. And I'm going to give you the best practices and my recommendations because security, as you're going to see, it's a roadmap, it's a journey, it's a practice. And I will also guide you to know where to go and get some additional information. So just as a quick introduction, CDM is IBM Premier Business Partner in Lebanon, Iraq, also authorized in Ethiopia. We are a very experienced IBM player in the region. We have been around more than 28 years now, I believe. The company has been established in 1989. And we are, as I said, we cover the whole IBM portfolio. It goes from hardware and software solutions. So mainly we're talking about, of course, the big high-end systems. So for instance, the mainframes, the power systems, storage solutions, and of course also the whole software portfolio of IBM. So we're talking about security, SOA, and WebSphere, as we saw before. Cloud, of course, mobility, so on and so forth, you name it. Other interesting business partnerships also that we have that are pretty strategic to our business, especially that we're talking about banking and financial services. We are Lenovo distributors for PC for the PC maker and the small servers. We also have a full department of MISIS banking consultants that are working on very big implementation regarding core banking, treasury, TI, trade finance for letter of credits across the region. Also, we are Diebold, the authorized distributor in Lebanon, Iraq, and Ethiopia, where we have a very big presence. And Kiziki and everything related to money printing and sorting machine. We work very closely with central banks on that. So we count around 100 employees in the region. We cover the Middle East and Africa, where we have 2 offices in Beirut, Lebanon. One is actually very close to here, it's in Baghdad. 3 offices in Iraq, Baghdad, Erbil, and Basra. And 3 offices in Ethiopia, with the main one in Addis Ababa, the capital. And of course, we deal with different Iraqi customers and customers around the region and in different sectors, not only banking. Okay, so my session today is on security, and security has really been a very, very hot topic, and especially here in the Middle East for a couple of reasons. To understand why I'm going to be talking about security and what are the main challenges, I need to speak a bit about the drivers. First of all, I think our organizations today, especially in the financial sector, have been victim of very much advanced attacks that are becoming very complex, and these attacks are constantly increasing year after year. So this is the one of the main reasons why organizations are turning to security solutions in the market. Also, of course, the human error, either due to a lack of awareness, due to education or training in the IT security industry, or sometimes a simple mistake. And by the way, one of the most public password that is the most used in the world is this password 12346, and more than 55% of organizations are still using this password by default and they don't change it. So this is really like an example. Also, of course, innovation. The more we are turning to technology, the more we are publishing mobile applications or online applications, the more our environment, or even APIs, services, the more our environment is going to be exposed to such attacks. Of course, the #1 reason in Lebanon as to why organizations acquire security solutions is compliance. We all want to be compliant, and I know it's always a headache on everyone, the compliance part, but it does have some benefits, I can assure you. And of course, the skills gap, because it's very difficult nowadays to find security professionals that can come and fill the security gap, which is actually enormous. So organizations tend to turn to technology and automation to respond to their security needs. Some interesting stats, and I hope everyone can see them below, is that it takes around 200 days to identify a data breach in an organization. So you can imagine that this is enormous. You can imagine what the hacker can do within this time range. And this is before we discover that we have been actually breached. Also in the US, the cost of the data breach is around $7 million. Now, in the financial sectors in our region, of course, it's not that much, but it varies between $500,000 to $1 million, which is quite significant. And by the way, organizations here, Financials One, after some statistics that were run last year, are breached around 4 times a year. So this is once per quarter. It's really quite significant. And sometimes, we know that our customers still see security as a cost and not really like a value. So it's very challenging to pitch in security solutions. But what we tend to do is that we remind them, are you ready to be breached? Do you prefer to invest in such solution and maybe spend a couple of $100,000 acquiring the solution, and sometimes it's even less? Or are you prepared to get breached and have this cost on your shoulder? Okay, and unfortunately, the bad news is that we are in 2016. We have recorded and we have registered a major milestone in cyber attack numbers. So the numbers are keeping on increasing in terms of attacks, and the financial services here ranks as the third most attacked sector after the healthcare and the manufacturing. And this is not going anywhere. Again, the more we are going digital, the more our sector is going to grow, the more we're going to be attacked, unfortunately. So what are the main security challenges that we discussed with our customer, and what are they trying to achieve? I put up here a list of the 2017, where we have been very much involved with our customers regarding IBM security solutions to see, and we're holding constantly these discussions with potential customers or our customers right now about these challenges. So first of all, our customers are trying to move from a legacy IT security department to a service, to have a kind of a service. So we call it the Security Operations Center. So we're trying to move from a cost center to a value center, because the Security Operations Center is not only is not going to be a legacy IT security department that's only going to do compliance, for instance. You want to get somewhere where you're going to be able to sell security services to either internally to your customers or externally to your providers or whatsoever. So we're trying really to build that model today with organizations here. And this is also called, by the way, a cyber defense center. This is the latest nomination to it. We're also trying to detect and block insider threats. Believe it or not, the challenges in security and the risk associated to insider threat is way more than the external threat. I'm going to show it in a couple of slides. Of course, transform and automate our compliance process. This is for compliance processes. This is another challenge. We're trying to protect our critical assets. So we're mentioning unstructured and structured data. And this is where the data protection mostly falls in. And of course, for our customers that have a mobile infrastructure, we're trying to secure this mobile enterprise. We're securing as well the cloud if you have workloads hosted on the cloud, and protect against online fraud and mobile fraud. So these are the main security challenges that we're facing now in 2017. How do we tackle this? How do we tackle these challenges? So luckily enough, IBM has designed and created a unique security ecosystem. And the reason why we call it unique is that because IBM is really today the only provider that can secure your infrastructure, endpoints and network. They can secure your people, they can secure your data, your applications, and of course against fraud, as I mentioned before. Now, of course, you're going to find some players in each one of those security segments, but no one covers the whole security portfolio as we do. And as you can see here, we call it an immune system, an ecosystem, because all these products can be integrated together. And of course, at the heart of this ecosystem is our crown jewel, as we call it, IBM QRadar Security Intelligence Platform that we'll be talking about just in a minute, which is really the somewhere where you want to start if you're launching your security practice. So again, since our colleague from IBM is not here, I'm going to be covering a bit this portfolio. I'm going to take my time. As I said, we have solutions for endpoint, mobile, advanced fraud. So IBM BigFix, for instance, is an endpoint protection application, and also does endpoint management. It works along with Mass 360, which is also a mobile management application. So you can have a unified endpoint management using these two. Of course, you want to look at if you are a banking provider, and if you are launching mobile banking or online banking, you want to take a look at Trusteer, which tackles everything related to fraud for mobile applications or online applications. Also, very interesting solution to secure the people, identity, and access management. IIM, CDM has been pioneer in this application throughout the region. We're having a lot of big projects and integration regarding this, especially here at the central bank, which is a regional reference for IBM in the region. I'm going to be covering also, of course, the data protection, because this is something we did at ASX. So also we have some solutions for applications with AppScan and the network. So again, the main idea here is to cover QRadar today and Guardium for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is where all our customers are starting their security journey today. Second of all, this is a very successful story that we have with ISX, thanks to the talented team that we had there that know very well their environment. We managed to implement a full-on integrated solution that I'm going to be showing right now. So what is QRadar? QRadar is the security intelligence platform of IBM. The application comes as a unified and single web-based. So the thing is about QRadar, it's a very modular and a very big product. So you have to take it step by step. It's a modular application. So you start with security intelligence, and then you can add, for instance, a vulnerability management solution. You can add also a risk management solution from the same family. You can run incident forensics, network analysis and network behavior, users behavior analysis. It's really very big. I cannot unfortunately cover it today. But the idea behind this is that whatever you add, you're always gonna be working with the same application. It's all unified on the same console. And as you can see here, the dashboards are really very user-friendly. Well, I hope you can see it, but they're very user-friendly, and you can see a bunch of stuff, your network activities, you can see any security event, which leads me to actually present how we report an offense in QRadar. So to understand first an offense, what is an offense in QRadar, we need to go to the basics. So first of all, what is security intelligence? Anyone has an idea here in this room what is security intelligence? Perfect. So security intelligence is the real-time collection, analysis, and of course normalization of all your... I thought I had more time. Amr is not here. Okay, so I'm going to be really quick. I just need 5 minutes, please. So it's the collection of these real-time events, and of course, using QRadar pre-configured security rules, you're going to be running some analytics on these events for QRadar to trigger some offenses. So basically, QRadar is going to give you a bunch of information about what was the attack, who was responsible, where can you find those targets, which endpoints or system has been infected, for instance. So it gives you really this consolidated view of everything that happened concerning this attack. The second solution I want to tackle real quick is Guardium. That was also, we implemented both QRadar and Guardium at ISX. And by the way, this was the first IBM security software deployment in Iraq, and it was a very successful project, honestly. Guardian, in a nutshell, can locate your sensitive data. You can run vulnerability assessment against your databases to find if you have any misconfigured systems, for instance, or any vulnerability, any port open. It does also encryption and masking. If you're a financial organization, you surely want to encrypt or mask your customers' account numbers or the credit card numbers in the databases. It's very important. It does, of course, data and file monitoring on a multi-platform environment. It covers file systems, so again, unstructured data and structured data, file systems, data warehouses, databases. And the most important feature is that it does also dynamic blocking. If you have unauthorized access, either it's from outside or DBA, database administrator, one of your administrators is trying to access some resources he's not supposed to access, you can just block him and kick him out from his session. Okay, so I'm going to try to conclude real quick. The main idea that I wanted to give today is that IBM is the thought leader in security, and this has been proved by several analysts, including Gartner. As you can see here, we are leaders in most of the segments. Again, it's different security segments: people, network, application, data. And this is how we need to think today. It's not about the network anymore. It's about on every layer that we have inside our enterprise. So this is, I'm going to start reading you some information. This is a very, very interesting one because again, it proves the point I was just giving a couple of minutes ago. So this is how organizations tend to spend and acquire solutions on the different layers vs the risk associated to this layer. So for instance, here we can see that organizations tend to acquire more network solutions than the risk associated to this specific layer. And for instance, there's actually more risk associated to the application layer, and we can see that organizations don't spend and don't really acquire solutions for that. So this is just something to make you think about if you want. And of course, the idea would be to reach a balanced chart. Okay, so some key security recommendation I would like to leave you with. First of all, always start using an integrated layered approach to security. Again, don't think about network being the only perimeter because there are more internal attacks that you can have than external, which actually leads to my second point: educate and train your users. It's very, very, very important because you have more than 43% of all global attacks come from the inside, from insider threats. And today, if you're an organization, I think I mentioned it, and you're looking to kick off or grow your security practice, SIEM solution is definitely where you want to start for a couple of reasons. First of all, it will give you the visibility that you have. So you will be able to, if you want, establish a certain roadmap and see where you need to protect first and where your priority lies. So it gives you this visibility on all your environment to see what's happening so that you can address it accordingly. Segregation of duties. This is anyway from compliance. You have to don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try to separate your risk or distribute it so across different factors and different people. Maintain your security patches at all times because you know that malwares and antivirus nowadays are constantly changing or are dynamic. And create response plans and responses in case you are breached. You will address this breach more efficiently. Sorry, I know I'm out of time. This is my last charge, I promise. So just to get more info, first of all, the CBM stand outside. We're more than happy, me and my colleagues, to get any inquiry you have. I've left also some contacts, emails, and websites. And the IBM website is very useful, ibm.com/security. And please do not hesitate. The most important is to go on YouTube and just put IBM security. You will see all these solutions we have talked about today in action, integrated, and you will see how they can respond to your challenge. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
Dear guests, I will be briefly presented the issue of data security and the protection from hacking and how the Iraqi Stock Exchange was based on the security procedures and what we concluded from applying IBM security solution for protecting trading system and depositing platforms. With the tremendous development of information technology in different directions, with the tremendous development of information technology in different directions, a new challenge has emerged. It is the information hacking for different purposes. These challenges are very serious because they cause damage to the near and the long term of performance of the institution. The financial sector has had the lion's share of the attacks. Procedure of the Iraqi Stock Exchange. Since its launch of automated trading system and central depository, the Iraqi market has regularly reviewed the procedure of information security and networks to keep track of the rapid development in the processes and methods of information hacking to keep automated trading system safe from any damage. This is done by reviewing the protection methods and the studies issued by the companies specialized in this field, updating equipment such as firewalls, updating the operating system, and updating protection systems. The automated trading system of the Iraqi market is subject to strict security procedure, starting with the protection of the network's databases, the trading servers, as well as follow up all users of the system through the use different solutions from IBM and Cisco institutions. In addition, development of information analysis solution for the purpose of continuous assessment of security procedure and identification of gaps in generated process as soon as possible. In this regard, we will discuss one of the methods to use Invest in Joe and the solution provided by IBM security system for the purpose of the following user to the terminals and their performance. Our case description. There are three types of user of trading system, namely brokers, trading management personnel, and the trading service personnel, and all of them are entered to the system through the server gateway and Cisco switches layer 2, 3, with specific authorities for procedure for protection. Use antivirus, prevent internet access to the network on which the workstation operates, a daily review of operates of reports of the trading system indicating the status of the enforce and the time of the entry and the exit of the system and the type of the task performed. Review switch reports that show the workstation and IP address of the user. In certain cases, the workstation is checked directly and event viewer is checked. This procedure, despite their great utilities, but includes some disadvantage. And needed a great human effort, a lot of time cost. It's not possible to determine if workstation is using an authorized application. The process of locating where the workstation that use internet is possible, but it's too difficult to detect. There is no immediate detection of the hack. Solutions that have been implemented to process these cases. The capabilities and functions provided by QRadar, Guardian, and Firestar. This procedure has been established immediately to interrupt information from these three systems to give a clear vision of the status of the workstation that operate on the automated system. This procedure was tested on a sample of workstation within a certain period of time to discover the effectiveness of the procedure. steps of implemented procedures. Use when collect on the workstation to direct information to QRadar. Forward the log files from switch to QRadar. Okay. Figure 1 shows the log files are coming from Guardian and other devices such as server, routers, and switches. These data, log source, network activity, are intersection with the fireside data. Route events from the database's server to QRadar. This figure shows us the most attacker in our workstation. These steps provided an immediate and rapid scan of the workstation so that could list the following cases. Workstation that use internet illegally, the nature of programs that operate from workstation that may be unauthorized, workstation who tries to access parts of the network illegally, the nature of application to which the user enter passwords that are used from other dedicated workstation. This procedure provided us extended detection, high efficiency, and instantaneous reduction and reduce of the time cost previously used. So we concluded some results. Reduce human effort and time cost by 80% and avoid the human error, preventing information leaks, provide a clear vision of the gaps in any part of the automated system for the purpose of processing, provide fast and immediate scanning of workstation, the possibility of identifying a licensing application, keep workstation and network intact, and create secure trading environment to prepare for future projects. After the success of the experiment on the sample is currently being applied to all workstation operate on the automated system. And that's it. Thank you for listening to me.
شكرا. الحقيقة أنا بدي أخدم هاي البانل قبل الأسئلة والإجابات من دون تحدث عن أي برودكت أو دون تحدث عن أي IBM تكنولوجي. زميلنا ديفيد يعني he covered it very well والأخت من الايس اكس. الحقيقة أنا بس بدي أركز لكل الأشخاص المعنيين هون من الإدارات أو من البزنس أو من حتى الآي تي على الأهمية القصوى لإعطاء السكيورتي الاتنشن الصحيح والبرايورتي الصحيحه. احنا من عده سنوات لما كنا نتكلم عن السكيورتي بمنطقتنا العربيه وكنا بالاردن او نتكلم بالعراق او نتكلم بدبي، كنا نتكلم ودائما نعطي امثله من USA، من اليابان، من الدول المتقدمه عن السكيورتي اتاكس والخسائر والمخاطر اللي كانوا يتعرضوا لها. اليوم احنا صرنا نشوف انه هاي الاتاكس، عمليه المخاطر او الهجوم على الاسيتس للمؤسسات صارت تتم اكثر في مناطقنا، صارت تتم اكثر عندنا. السنه الماضيه ما اعرف اذا كلكم سمعتوا عن ارامكو صار في ميجر اتاك على ارامكو، وكانت الخدمه بعشرات الاف الحاسوبات صارت داون، وكانت يعني على مستوى السي ان ان نشرت الخبر. قناه الجزيره تعرضت لاتاكس مؤخرا. احد البنوك من دون نذكر اسماء في قطر صار في داتا ليكج لعدد كبير جدا من معلومات العملاء. اوكي، والداتا ليكج هذا تم من شخص داخلي مش فقط من شخص خارجي. يعني زميلنا دايما بيتكلم انه في مخاطر خارجيه وفي اكو اخرى مخاطر داخليه. اوكي السي او اوف ذا بانك التشيرمان اوف ذا بانك اوكي نادى الهيد اوف اي تي الهيد اوف سكيورتي الهيد اوف ريسك اوكي بادجت مفتوحه بعد ما تصير للاسف احنا ما بدنا نتصرف مع الموضوع ما بعد المشكله. احنا هذا المسج موجه للادارات العليا بالشكل الاساسي الاداره العليا انه السكيورتي المفروض تكون proactive ابروتش قبل حدوث المشكله. المفروض نخطط عشان نمنع قدر الامكان. ما في حد يستطيع يمنع 100% لكن نمنع 99% 99.9% من حدوث المشكله. اذا احنا لا سمح الله ما عملنا اكشنز if the management didn't support the IT management didn't support the IT security in taking proper solutions and budgets and actions للاسف بيكون التصرف reactive. عدد كبير من البنوك بعد اللي صار في قطر اوكي وانا هذه احدى الاجتماعات دعوني للاجتماع فيها. The chairman of the bank he called his IT he called his security other banks not in Qatar but neighboring countries. He said if this happens to my bank okay all of you are fired. So they said sir if you want this not to be happen we need 1 2 3 4 and he said this has the highest priority in budget for you to make sure that this will never happen to my bank. فاحنا نتكلم اليوم عن السكيورتي حقيقه انه هاي فقط المسج اللي كنت اوصلها انه السكيورتي اليوم صارت عندنا في بلادنا مش بس للبنوك حتى للمؤسسات الحكوميه. صرنا نحكي على التيرورست سكيورتي تيرورست جروبس. صارت دول تحارب بعض بالسكيورتي بالالكترونيك سكيورتي وبالهاكينج وبالسايبر سكيورتي. فنتمنى انه المسج هاي توصل بحيث انه نساعد فرقنا بالاي تي ونساعد فرقنا بالاي تي سكيورتي انهم ياخذوا المحاضير هاي ويطبقوا السوليوشنز اللازمه عشان ان شاء الله ما حدا منا يتعرض لمخاطر خارجيه وداخليه. وشكرا.
اذا شخص عنده يحب يتوجه اي سؤال على المحاضرات ننهي هذه السيشنز حتى ننتقل للسيشنز الاخيره. شكرا جزيلا للاستاذ اللي قدمه. Now we talk about حننتقل للسيشنز الأخيرة. Mr. David Hunt, CEO of Mubashir, who are director Mr. Peter Hitchison, Senior Vice President for Nasdaq. بس شو الصوت جامد حتى زي اللايف 200 يورو الوحده. Okay, Mr. David, can you give the presentation about Russia and no, that's right.
Hello. Good afternoon. We just had a little problem with the projector. Obviously, technology section always has a problem with technology. Whilst we're waiting for that to happen, I would just like to thank the hosts, Mr. Taha and all the Iraq Stock Exchange team, and also Mossad and Frontier Exchange for putting on this seminar or forum, and equally all the sponsors behind me. On the same playing field, all of you for attending, because if we didn't come, there wouldn't be a forum. So thank you for your valuable time. Right on cue. Thank you. Okay, my name is David Han. I work for a company called Direct FN Mabasha, and I'm just going to give you an insight to our company and a little bit about our experiences, what we've established in other regions within the MENA region, to share those experiences as you embark on this within the Iraq arena. I don't have the Okay, just a little bit about us. We've been in the region for since 2000, year 2000, so 17 years. I think the relevance of that to the audience is for the financial stability, accepted products, local knowledge, regional knowledge. So we basically provide MENA market data to the global investors. So we have clients all around the world, but we focus on content within this region. We have about 350 employees in various offices across the region, with our main development centers in Pakistan, Colombo, and Cairo within the system. Right, let's just move on to a little bit about what we've achieved and how technology can be an enabler, but equally it's not the catalyst or the silver bullet that everybody expects. It's a lot of hard work that everybody has to do to engage the market community and create liquidity and investors' interest. And we heard a lot about that yesterday from Ravi Securities and the other speakers. So I'll just move on. I mean, we started as the first pioneer dissemination of data in the Saudi market. To the extent that when we launched our first product in 2003 till about 2006, we took the exchange trading by producing a low-cost, cost-effective market data screen for the masses. And we took the trades from the exchange to something like 2,000 trades a day to 500,000 trades a day in its peak before the crash in 2008. We had over 500,000 screens in the marketplace for private investors. The actual number of investors went from 30,000 to 2 billion investors. So, did technology make that happen? No, not necessarily, not on its own. Again, it was the enabler to reach the masses. But why we were successful was because we took upon ourselves to know our market. Yes, there were price dissemination of Tadal before that across Reuters, but this was a high-cost, clunky system that was more aimed at the institutional marketplace. And it was in English. So what did we do? We produced a low-light product. We put it in, localized it in content in Arabic with the right information, and then launched it to the marketplace. So what I would, add from our experience to the brokers, the banks, and people within this ecosystem is make sure you understand who the market is. Don't run before you can walk. Don't offer markets that no one has an interest in. Don't offer applications that no one's going to take. Understand where they are. Is the underlying infrastructure there? Do you have the 4G? Do you have the superior smartphones that enables mobile application access? If you don't introduce them yet. We were also one of the first across the region to provide front-to-back order management systems. We set out as a technology provider to do this. We introduced it into the Dubai market first back in 2005. We actually went to a number of break banks and brokers and said to them, we can increase your volumes, we can increase your number of trades by bringing again this service and technology to the masses. It wasn't new to the world. Obviously, it's been done in the more developed countries nearly a decade before us. And all we wanted in return was a certain amount of commission from the order flow. Although we engaged with a number of banks and brokers, they decided that they didn't want to do that. So what did we do? We basically formulated our own broker called Untitled Financial Services, which is a sister company. And since its inception in 2005, using our platform, it has remained in the top 10 of UAE brokers and is one of the leading regional brokers and has won numerous awards for technology. That technology we also now take and sell to their competitors. So Direct FN is a separate entity to the regulated brokerage, but that is just an idea of how they're using that technology to gain market share. So again, know your market. We introduced light products, web-based products that don't require a lot of bandwidth. We used a lot of technology to shrink up the network so there's not a lot of bandwidth. Pretty much most of our data goes over the public internet via VPNs and the cloud that everybody's been talking about. The market data volumes here for the MENA region are not huge in comparison to the rest of the world. In Zag Trader's presentation, they mentioned about the volumes of US data, and yes, that is significant. And no one really brings the full order book from Nasdaq or NYSE to this region because the data load is too high. We introduced new platforms, adopting new technology, new generation platform to basically have a better look and feel, give people more information on charts, technical analysis, news. We also have added other products within the region, data feeds. Before we introduced our data feed product in 2010, the only real way that an organization like a broker could access regional markets or international markets was through Reuters or to go directly to the exchange. We've introduced our data feed to the extent now that we probably power something like 15 to 20 of the top brokers across the MENA region with their market data requirements. Why? Because we didn't have legacy systems like Reuters had to change. We didn't have the global infrastructure that they have and the cost associated. So to IBM's point, or the gentleman from the cloud outsourcing, we were agile. We could move quickly. We adapted. We recognized what the market wanted, and we supplied what they wanted and not necessarily what we believed they wanted. We also moved into the investor relations section. Again, that was highlighted in previous presentations, how important it is for companies to present themselves accordingly. There's something like 1,500 listed companies across the MENA region. Probably only 90 to 100 have a significant investor relation website section that enables investors to get a good understanding of that company. So we've still got a long way to go. So from an Iraq perspective, you're not behind. There's various organizations like the Middle East Investor Relations Association that's doing a lot of work to promote good governance, and also the exchanges are very keen to have transparency, because this is what international investors would want to see if they're going to invest in your market. We're also doing financial portals, broker solutions, that we add all of this content on their site. We manage the full financial section for Al Arabiya, the largest Arabic news channel in the Middle East, just some of our capabilities. I'll skip over this briefly, but again, we've introduced wealth management systems, custody management systems, asset management systems as well. Where do we fit in the sort of scheme of things with the global vendors? We're both a fintech company and a content company, so we can manage both aspects of that. So that gives you a kind of overview of where DirectFN sits versus perhaps some of the titans that you're more familiar with, like Bloomberg and Reuters, Interactive Data, which is now ICE Data Services, acquired by the Intercontinental Exchange, SunGard, now known as FIS, because they were global, they were acquired last year as well. So we have a lot of offering within the Middle East region. So here's our client list, partial anyway. It's who's who of who's trading across the region, and I'll let you just have a quick look at that. One thing of interest, especially from the international perspective, typically Bloomberg and Reuters are the only two vendors that will go directly to market to get the exchange data. Other vendors would use perhaps a consolidator. A lot of other international vendors use DirectFN for their data requirements. People like Fidessa, SunGard, ICE Data Services, S&P, FactSet come to us because their business here is fairly marginal for certain aspects. It's not an ultra low latency play. It's still push the order in the market rather than an order. It's an order-driven market rather than an algorithmic market. So they don't necessarily have to be here, but they need the content to supplement their requirements when they're pitching against Reuters and Bloomberg. But the reference of this slide is that all of these people can buy what they want. They have strong buying criteria. They go to companies that they know they can trust, because it's not, the customers don't see us, they see them. It's their reputation. So we're carrying all that weight on our shoulders. A little bit about where we are from a Saudi perspective. I told you before that we've got something like 84% penetration in the sense of eyeballs looking at our screens. We have currently about 300,000 since the downturn in 2008. 55% of the market uses our OMS systems, order management systems, which equates to about 65% of the order flow on the Dow market on a daily basis. And then we're also, with our new products, making penetration. We're not just in Saudi, Sri Lanka again, we do over 50% of the brokers there with their solutions. Also, that's a frontier market with a fairly good infrastructure, but not one that's similar to Saudi or the GCC. So our solutions can be quantified in areas where bandwidth's an issue, mobiles are an issue, or etc. We also have clients as far as Indonesia and Malaysia, brokers using our services. Just a quick client success. Okay, it's all good me standing up here saying we've got all these products, but proof is in the pudding. Is it going to bring me businesses? What's my ROI on this? Okay, everybody says that okay, this is a lot of money. I've got to pay for this infrastructure, I've got to pay for these systems, I've got to pay exchange fees, and I haven't even got a client yet. So what is the return? Well, here's a prime example. Ours from a capital part of Saudi investment bank in Riyadh. 2009, after the crash, there were probably 9 out of 11 brokers. We were talking to them about implementing a system that would enhance their profile. And to cut a long story short, they implemented that system on local market first, and we took them from 9th broker to be the 3rd largest broker on the Tadal market, which they still hold. And we've expanded into multi-markets, North America and regional. That's just a picture of where we entered the situation, and you can see how the order flow came up. OMS systems, you know, we had a presentation before, so you're pretty familiar with front ends, back ends, integration, accounting systems, compliance, etc. Everybody has great tools in this area. I encourage you to look at these. It is complex. It's not easy. It's not something that's just going to plug and play. A lot of work by IT departments and operation departments within brokers. Right, just quickly, I mean, one thing that I highlighted about having and taking banks and brokers to where they need to be competitive is, you know, when you choose a service provider, you know, make sure that service provider can scale with your business. And like I said, if your business is high touch at the moment over the telephone, you know, don't automatically just jump to low touch. There may be a combination of two. You may want to offer them real-time pricing so they can see the prices and still call in. Then take them down that road gradually and you'll have better success. Also, you minimize your cost risk and your return on investment quicker. But we've done this. We introduced pro screens first, which were display only. Then they become automated online trading. We have a lower, the pro terminals are download because it's quite a sophisticated tool. But we have a version that's a web-based one because not everybody wants to download or has the bandwidth to download. Of course, everything's going mobile or on you know, any web devices. So of course we have mobile applications, whether they be native apps, whether they be HTML5, it's all technology. iPads, Android tabs, you know, we even do wearables for the exchanges, for ADX, for example. So wherever your market is, make sure you choose a service provider that can grow with you in a sense of what you want to do. So just to wrap up, I think that's it from me. I mean, all I'd like to leave you with is a couple of things as takeaways. One, know your market. Two, innovate, disrupt, and transform. And there are a lot of people in this room that can help you do that in different components to make sure that everybody has a profitable journey. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, David. Now, the presentation for Mr. Peter, Senior Vice President for Nasdaq.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here in Beirut. I've got quite a brief presentation. I think I've got 15 minutes. I was invited here. We're a provider of technology to the Iraq Stock Exchange. It's a relationship that started back in 2006, and we're very happy to be their technology provider. We provide their trading system and their CFD solution. I guess not a lot of people know about the breadth and depth of Nasdaq's business, and everyone knows the brand. Nasdaq is, you know, they're in the middle of Times Square in New York, and a lot of people think of us as a stock exchange in the US, but we're a lot more than that. So I'll go through a little bit of that to tell you what we're all about. So We, over the past decade, Nasdaq has transformed itself from just being an exchange provider to a provider of a lot more. And that transformation has led us in a number of different directions, which I'll go into in a little more depth. I won't go through all of these slides, but we have a mission which is really to invigorate the capital markets. And our vision is to bring together technology and the capital markets to achieve efficiencies and disruption and build that through technology. We're very much a technology-focused organization. That took a while to load. This slide represents the various business units within Nasdaq as an organization. In the middle there, you've got a lot of different functional areas, and around the sides there, you can see the business units. So we have listing services. Of course, we all know about the major companies that are listed on Nasdaq in the US, like Apple, Amazon, Google. You know, the biggest tech companies in the world are on Nasdaq. We operate trading systems, so our trade services. We have information systems, so we provide indexes and corporate solutions data. And we have a division called Market Technology, which is where I come from, which provides technology to financial market participants, exchanges, clearinghouses, CSDs, and banks and brokers. This is the organization structure. We last year, Bob Greifeld, our CEO of many years, stepped down, he retired, and Dina Friedman took over as our new CEO, so she leads the organization. And we have a fantastic management team that you can see there. I won't go through that in all that detail. You can look at it on the website if you're interested. Okay. All right. And as a global organization, we have offices in 59 locations around the world. I happen to lead the Sydney office, where we have 250 people. Where I was just attending our inaugural opening of our office in Bangalore, in India, where we have over 350 people at the moment, and we're looking to grow that office. So we're a fairly large global organization. It's a bit of a challenge. As you know, we've got people all around the world. I'm often up in the middle of the night talking to my management staff in the New York office, and it's always a bit of a challenge to get the Americans to recognise that it's not always the middle of the day around the world. We're getting there slowly. I just want to go through. So trading, you know, everyone knows Nasdaq as a trading organisation. We have 25 markets. So with the acquisition of OMX in 2008, we gained a number of markets in the Nordic region, but around the world, all of North America and in Europe, we have 25 markets altogether. But we also operate 5 central securities depositories and the clearinghouse in Sweden as well. In terms of listing, we have 3,700 listings across our US and Nordic markets. And I guess, you know, everyone recognizes these brands. These are all Nasdaq listed companies in the US. But what I represent is the tech organization, Market Technology, and, you know, my background is in building and delivering trading systems, which is what the Iraq Stock Exchange takes from us. So in terms of that, we power 1 in 10 transactions, matching transactions around the world. So of all the markets around the world, 1 in 10 goes through our technology, which is a fairly amazing stat. We have over 85 marketplaces in 50 countries. We're on every continent on the planet except Antarctica, and there is no stock exchange there yet, but when there is, we'll be first to go there. In terms of market technology, we've had 25 years experience doing this, and if you look at what Nasdaq represents today, it's really the amalgamation of a number of different organizations over the years. So I come from the Sydney organization. That was an acquisition by OMX in 2006, and then Nasdaq acquired OMX in 2008, and we've acquired a number of different tech organizations over the year, which has diversified our tech portfolio to the point now where we have a rich portfolio of applications that we deliver to customers. Here's some interesting stats here. 100 plus external market operators. We have 400 clients in our governance, risk and compliance space. So we have a product for governance, risk and compliance that allows corporates to manage those aspects, which is becoming a big thing these days. We also have 1,300 plus banks and brokers, compliance and surveillance subscriptions. So our smart surveillance product, which is another solution that was invented in Australia, which I manage, we sell it out to the major banks and brokers, and it monitors market activity looking for miscreant or illegal behaviour. So that's a huge growth product for us, and we're seeing more and more subscriptions being sold on that front. 44% of the WFE members are customers of ours. So these are amazing stats, and I think this is really interesting. A lot of people, when we meet them, they say, "But Nasdaq's just an exchange," and we say, "No, we're a lot more than that." In terms of the Middle East, we're very proud at our client footprint in this region. This goes back to 2003 when there was a company in Canada which actually went bust, and the company that was acquired by OMX that I was working for at the time, we acquired the IP, and we through that acquisition gained, I think, 6 or 8 customers in the Gulf region and a number in Africa. And so today you can see them, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq. These are all customers of ours today with both trading, CSD, surveillance, and other technologies. The EMEA region represents 42% of our traditional market technology revenue on a global basis. So it's a huge region for us, and we're very committed to the region. One of the things we've done recently at Nasdaq, having acquired many different applications over the years from different parts of the world, is we've looked to rationalize our technology, because it was apparent that technology, whilst all of it was very good, it has slightly different origins, and making those solutions bolt together and make them operate on a cohesive and seamless fashion was becoming more and more difficult. So last year we announced our Nasdaq Financial Framework, and what this is really a strategy to try and bring our applications together, and over the years, as we develop and enhance those applications, bring them together so that they are more seamless and work against a common technology framework. So the guiding principles for the framework is built to change, integration, robustness, and innovation. So we need dynamic and agile systems. They need to be flexible enough that we can adapt and modify those as needs change. With integration, we need clear APIs between systems that allow these systems to bolt together. They need to be seamless, easy to install, low cost to operate. In terms of robustness, that's always been the catch cry for exchange systems, fault tolerance and failover and redundancy and so forth. But that goes much more beyond that now when we talk about robustness, in terms of not just system failure, but also the ability to have resilient and high performance systems. And innovation, I think, is very important as we look at the tech trends that are being talked about in the world with blockchain and cloud and machine intelligence and quantum computing. These trends are very much front and foremost in our thinking as we move forward with our technology solutions. We know that these are going to change the world, and a lot of them are already doing that. So we are looking to build our applications in a very agnostic fashion. Our systems, for instance, can transport from being on-prem delivered and run by the exchange to be operated in the cloud, be that the Amazon cloud, the Google, or the Microsoft cloud solutions. We don't care. We just see that as a service provider. So that ability to move our technology around across different platforms is key. Another very good example of that is that blockchain for us is really just, we see this as a service that is able to be plugged in. You could back end into the blockchain, or you could back end into a traditional database. So the financial framework is built on 3 major components. There's the Nasdaq core. There are services around that core. So those services are things like the blockchain or data warehousing or streaming services. And then there are business applications. And in terms of those, we offer business applications which are interoperable. So you can choose a set of applications to build the solution. They're real-time, high performance, robust. We built this upon a common set of libraries. So if we need a component that can read and write fixed messaging, for instance, that thing is built once, and all of our various applications share that reusable component. And fourthly, machine intelligence is really driving a lot of what we're doing today. Big data is underpinning that, but data is useless without tools to work on that. Machine intelligence is probably the major trend now, moving beyond that, just data analytics and BI. Machine intelligence is what's driving that. So here's a full list of all of our end-to-end applications. We have a multiplicity of trading applications of post-trade, data and analytics, and cross area. These are sort of utility tools, things like testing and risk management solutions. So the benefits of our framework is well, I'm not going to read through all of this, but I guess we've got a set of reusable components that have low cost of ownership that can be deployed and integrated seamlessly and operated to deliver an overall solution in the space that you want. So by collecting a set of application components, a little bit like the App Store on Apple, your business might be comprised of some components for settlement, for pricing, for custody, for corporate actions, and we bolt these together to create a solution. So I think that's the end of my presentation. I wanted to keep it brief, and I hope I haven't overrun. I might have gone under. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very informative presentation. One question I have is around blockchain. You mentioned, where do you see, the entry point or the FSS industry here in this region? And what would be the right strength pitch for something?
Well, is this okay? So at Nasdaq, we're involved in a number of initiatives with the blockchain, and I mean real initiatives. So we have Nasdaq Private Market, which we operate in the US. This is for innovation companies, startups that have to manage their share book. And I don't know how many of you watched the comedy show Silicon Valley about a Silicon Valley startup, but the shares of these companies tend to move around between the founders and the people that join these organizations. So we've built basically a share registry solution, or like a CSD solution on the blockchain to allow those companies to manage their share book. We've also just implemented an e-voting system in Estonia. There's a couple of other people that are doing this on the blockchain, and we're working with a third initiative in the US. We have a company that's looking to securitize internet advertising. So internet advertising is pre-sold many months in advance. They're securitizing that as like a forward derivative instrument. And because that's a new asset class, we could have put it into a clearing solution, but we decided to put it on the blockchain. So we do see opportunities with greenfields, ledgers. Blockchain really is a ledger technology. It's not going to solve cancer, cure cancer, or it's not going to get us to the moon again, but it will very elegantly manage asset ownership, and that's what we're using it for. So we see a lot of applications for that, especially where these assets do not currently have an asset registry solution in place.
Another question on that is how does the central bank and mandates plays into it? Because every time we talk to the clients on blockchain, and there's a point where say we need to check with the central bank.
Well, I think that's a regulatory issue, and it varies from country to country. So, some regulators are being very friendly towards blockchain, and in other countries less so. So it does tend to vary from country to country.
اوكي شكرا جزيلا.
الآن ندعو السيد طه عبد السلام المدير التنفيذي لسوق العراق للأوراق المالية بمناقشة وإلقاء توصيات النهائية لمؤتمر آفاق الاستثمار في سوق العراق للأوراق المالية. شكرا.
مساء الخير جميعا. من عادة المؤتمرات وورش العمل workshops أن تخرج بمجموعة توصيات. هذه التوصيات تلبي أولا المقترحات التي تعامل بها المناقشون أو الأشخاص والخبراء الذين قاموا بعرض البرزنتيشنز اللي قدموها، وأيضا للوصول إلى نتائج إيجابية من خلال اقتراح خطة التطوير لإدارة سوق العراق للأوراق المالية ومجلس المحافظين قبل ما نستعرض التوصيات المقترحة على حضراتكم، واللي أيضا راح نسمع أي تعديلات أو إضافات قد حضراتكم أو غابت علينا حضراتكم تذكرون فيها. في في البداية أحب أن أشكر جميع المتحدثين اللي ساهموا بعناية